All right, so we're going to review the Expendables 4 today. I haven't seen the other Expendables movies, but I imagine that they are better than this because this is horrible. This is easily one of the worst movies of the year. I was hearing some bad things, but this is shockingly bad. And I have to imagine the other ones are better because I don't know how this got to 4 movies if they've been on this level to this point. So this has to be the worst of them. It's directed by Scott Waugh, and I'll say how all the things that don't work about this in a second. So we got Christmas, played by Jason Statham, and what's it called, Barney, played by Sylvester Stallone. They're part of this Expendables group. There's other groups like this in movies. So even though I haven't seen the other movies, I get the gist of it. They're called in as like a last resort and things like that. They're a team like that, where it's like they get sent in whenever it's like, hey, we need to get this done. And, if they die, whatever, if they mess up, it's on them. Things like that. The whole draw of this is that you get like action stars in this. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger was in one of them, and things like that, whatever. So that's why you got Stallone and Statham, stuff like that. You also got Dolph Lundgren as Gunner and things like that. There's other characters in the team. We got some new people in this one. We got Easy Day, played by 50 Cent, and Gina, played by Megan Fox. I will definitely talk about those two in a second. But in this, they're taking on this villain group. I'm not fully sure what they were trying to do, partially because I'm not invested in it, but it has to do with the detonator. Like they take out a general in the beginning, and then I guess they get a detonator. There's also a nuke involved on a boat, and they're trying to also break somebody else, some other guy out of prison and things like that. I couldn't fully explain it to you, and I tried to look up on IMDb what their synopsis was. It's not in there, so whatever. They're trying to do something, and the Expendables are trying to take him out. There's also one of the characters gets killed, and so there's also that avenging of that character thing going on. So positives. Uh, I'm really having a grasp at straw. So I think Jason Statham, even though the writing is bad, the dialogue's bad, nobody's really good. Nobody comes out of this looking good. Jason Statham, I think, comes out looking the best. It's almost to the point where this movie doesn't feel like an Expendables movie. Even though I haven't seen the other ones, I still see this as a group movie, right? Like, an ensemble. It feels like it's mostly about Jason Statham, right? Like, it feels like they go out of their way to put the other characters in a certain situation towards the end, to where it's like, look, we just want to give Jason Statham some shine. So it's like, okay. And I guess it's fitting because Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone seem to be the only people who want to be here. Maybe the villain group too, but for the most part, at least when it comes to the main group, it's mainly Statham and Stallone. And I think it mainly with Jason Statham. The action when it comes to like the hand-to-hand stuff, I think is good. Like there's this really cool moment where he, teams up with this other guy, and they have knives, and they're fighting some goons with knives, and they're doing some choreography with each other and stuff like that. That was actually pretty cool and well choreographed. So when it's the hand-to-hand stuff, that's kind of cool. Like that, on a superficial level, I kind of enjoyed that. Believe it or not, those are all the positives I could really come up with. So the writing in this is so bad that honestly, if you told me that it was written by like AI, so it was written during the writer strike, I would believe you. It's just, it's so bad. Like from scene to scene, the movie doesn't flow very well. It just one thing happens, then another thing happens, then another thing happens, but not with any narrative flow. But then also in the actual scenes, there's no flow, right? The characters feel underdeveloped. They have no chemistry with each other. They're trying to do this banter. Obviously, with movies like this, you're gonna want to have some banter with the characters to further develop them and their relationships. Have a little bit of team chemistry and things like that. They're busting their balls in kind of action movies and things like that. In this, the banter is horrible, right? Either it's lame and unfunny and predictable, very predictable for what it is. Oh, Dolph Lundgren's got a wig on. Hey, man, what's going on with that wig? And things like that. There's another character where he just talks about sexual shit. He's talking about, hey, do you know what a golden shower is? None of it's funny. Or it's banter that doesn't make sense. I think there was one line somebody said to 50 Cent. His name is Easy Day. And he does something, he throws somebody out of a truck or something, and somebody was like, I guess the only easy day was yesterday, or something like that, something similar to that. I was like, I don't even know what that means. I don't know what you mean by that. And there's some other lines like that too. So not only do they, obviously they have the blood when somebody gets shot. Obviously, a lot of people get shot. The blood doesn't look very good. Uh, but there's also times where, because there's a little bit of gore going on, where somebody will drop down from somewhere and their head will kind of explode or whatever into blood, and that doesn't look good. Pretty much every um, form of transportation, boat, plane, the trucks that they're on, that shit looks fake. It looks completely fake, and it takes you out of it. There's a scene where Stallone is flying a plane, and that plane looks fake the whole time. But then when they get to the place and they're on the mission, it's the first time when they really take on the villains. There's some explosions going around, and you see the plane flying and things like that. The plane's getting hit, and it all looks so fake, right? We if you're watching the movie, you've essentially just time traveled, right? Because it feels so aged, it feels so dated. It feels like it's like over a decade old with these effects. Like they didn't even try. You're really not invested in anything. The team, the villains, none of it. What are the villains really trying to do? Like I said, I couldn't fully understand that, but I wasn't invested in it anyway because I don't really feel like I'm watching a movie. It kind of feels like it's more like a parody of Expendables or of like an action movie like this, like where it's just this scene and this scene and this scene. Hey, let's just make sure we have some action in here. Whatever. Like I said, most of the actors don't seem like they really want to be here. Very little development with the characters. We got Easy Day, 50 Cent. Right, I've seen him in a number of movies. He's been trying to be an actor for a while. I remember Get Rich and was it Get Rich or Die Trying? He's never been a good actor to me, and he's not good in this. I mean, obviously the writing is doing him many favors, but he does that thing that I've seen him do in other movies where he's supposed to be this badass, right? Muscular dude, big dude, right? Supposed to be a badass. He's been killing people for years, but yet he talks real low when he talks to people. Hey man, what's up with the axe? Like I don't know why he talks so low in these movies, even when he's supposed to be this badass. I don't get it. And it comes off as unnatural, like he's forcing himself to say all these things, like he's like struggling just to get the line out. It's bad. It really is, and his character feels underdeveloped anyway. I don't want to get onto her too much because I've been getting onto her for years, but Megan Fox, right? So Megan Fox is hot, right? Everybody knows that. She's gorgeous. She still is. But that's kind of it, and it's been it, since like Transformers and things like that. She can't act, and so when you have this script that's so like so horrendous, like right, it just you're watching her just really struggle to get these lines out, like 50 Cent pretty much, and it doesn't work. She doesn't have chemistry with Jason Statham. They have the whole relationship thing. Doesn't matter. I think they kiss like once. But the big thing is she's very blatantly, very obviously miscast, right? So she's not only supposed to be a badass like them, killing people like them, but she's also leading the team at one point. And the entire time, it doesn't feel right. Like it feels like she's confused while she's there. She still looks perfect and hot and all this other shit. So she so she actually kind of looks more like she's about to take like pics for Instagram or something like that. like she doesn't feel like she just killed anyone or she's about to kill anyone. It doesn't work. I think she kills maybe two people at the end. She really doesn't do all that much anyway. I'm bored the whole time. And there was me and one other person in the theater, and that lady, I guess she didn't like it either because the second those credits came up, she beelined out of there. Well, maybe she had some other stuff to do, but she rushed out of there immediately. So it's an embarrassing movie. It's shockingly bad. You cannot believe how bad it looks, how bad it's written, how much you don't care, how boring it is, even though characters are dying, so you don't care. How this is a team movie, but Statham seems to be like getting all the kills and all the things to do. Like it might as well have just been a standalone Statham action movie. It's bad, man. Anyway, I'm giving it complete shit. Easily not the worst, but one of the worst movies of the year for me. It's definitely making my list. I mean, it's just wow. I couldn't tell you. I was shocked. I was laughing in the theater. This really is parody level bad at points. But anyway, yeah, that's Expend4bles, and yeah, it's really really like terrible. It really is, man. I don't think I can say that enough. But anyway, yeah, we're done.